All right, welcome back to another thrilling installment of Watch Me Work. So today we got an electrician's website, and he's in my town. He actually worked in my backyard, and he heard that I was the web developer that also worked for one of his buddies that owns a gutter and roofing company out here. And he's like, "All right, yeah, you're doing my website." So here we go. My goal was to make him the most sexy electrician's website in the state, and I think that's what we're accomplishing here. So it's very modern, and what I'm doing special, these triangles here. So it's a triangle. Um, like when you think about website design for some of these companies, look into like everything that is involved with their work. So like with the electrician, um, I looked at all the symbols and what the electrical symbols are that he works with. And a triangle is a symbol for in electricity. I forget what it's for, but I saw it and I was like, okay, I'm going to use this. So I made this little pattern of triangles, and I created I had somebody on Fiverr create an SVG of it for me. And all of these triangles are individual polygons with their own classes so that I can target them and I can add an animation, and I'm going to fade them in and out, and they're all going to have different delays, and it's going to be this nice like electrical twinkling effect. And it's just a little extra that I wanted to do to kind of separate his website from anybody else, like have something that is just above and beyond, it's unique, and have some flair. So that's what we're going to do with this section. And then in dark mode, what's going to be really cool. So I cropped out this image. This is a stock image from Pexels, and I cropped it out using remove.bg to remove the background. So this is what it looks like. And what I did is I used GIMP to kind of fade out the background so that when dark mode hits, this background fades into the color of the background of the website. So when dark mode comes, I'm going to load this instead of this, and they're going to be placed in the exact position that they are here, and it'll look like these lights are actually turning on and lighting up the background of this website. It's going to be a really cool effect, and I'm really excited to see if it works or if it is just a dud, but that's my plan, and I can't wait to see that effect. Hopefully it looks good. And then we got a FAQ section, our services section, and then we see the triangles popping up again, like a little design motif. It's great to fill in space, because otherwise, you have a lot of white space here. So you got to figure out creative ways to fill it in. What kind of designs can you put in there? What kind of creative like pieces of work can you add to your websites to give them that extra like feeling of fullness, like this website is complete, like it's not missing something. It doesn't feel too empty, but it doesn't feel cluttered. And that's kind of the design tightrope we have to walk. And again, these symbols you see here, these are also like symbols in his work that he deals with, signifying different parts of things in electricity. I don't know, I'm not an electrician, I just know this is what it is. So I had all of these made into SVGs, and I changed their colors. And what I'm going to do is, again, these are going to be like floating a little bit, and they're going to be fading in and out of opacity, just to add an extra effect, a little extra piece of flair that really makes him stand out. Like, hey, wow, look at this website, huh? So it's the little things like that. So when we come down here, we get a portfolio. These are just stock images for now. And then again, this background is actually the underside of a, what were those like those towers you see here? So I just removed the background. This is also a stock image. And I gave a little opacity to it so that it's in the background and it's not like in your face, but it still adds a neat little, dynamic graphic feel to the website, again, pertaining to his work. So I was just searching for electrical stuff, like electricians, all on the stock photo websites like Pexels and Unsplash, and seeing what comes up and see what I can use that pertains to his work and just adds to the vibe and the feel. And then we got, you want to end on a nice note, so just a little something something talking about quality. Here's how you remember me by, because I care. It's because people only remember the first and last part of the website, so I like to put all of the stuff they do, like the main things, up here. And then at the bottom, I like to either end on testimonials, which were kind of there, testimonials, or like a product comparison, or like a parting section of, hey, thanks for visiting our website. We are the best and we do quality. This is how we feel, our philosophy. So you want to pick the note that you want to end on. And when I'm talking about this web design. And I wanted to end on this note of, this is just generic stuff that I wrote, but at the end, it's going to have his like mission and what drives him and why he is the best choice, because he's honest and trustworthy and he's going to do a good job. And that's hopefully what this website says. And when we go onto the about page, it gets a little more, we kind of stay intricate. Well, this is not him. This is a stock photo. I got to get a picture of him. And again, these triangles pop up. So a simple portfolio and a simple contact page. As you can see, all the work goes on the home pages. You don't need to get crazy with these interior pages. And normally I use templates for my interiors, but I'm making some new ones. So I can reuse these for other websites as well. So I decided to design new interior pages to match this one. So with that, let's build it. So let's get this out of the way. Zoom in. Now, if you haven't watched any of my videos before, I use a starter kit that I've built myself. That's what I have over here. It's the basic building block of a website. So this is what it looks like on mobile. I just do a responsive navigation with a landing page and a footer, and dark mode is already enabled. I gotta fix that. And I just updated it so I added this new dark mode button where the sun comes in and out. But yeah, this is completely responsive. So here's our tablet, and then we got to refresh. There we go. Here's our desktop. It has everything you need in a website to get started. Why rebuild something that you've already done before? And that's the point of this. It's just I create a generic, landing page with a responsive navigation, and then I tweak it to look how I want it to look. So that's what we're going to do. This starter kit is in the link in the description below. I have it in a GitHub that you can download and use freely. So if you've had trouble starting a website and just building a navigation, getting the landing page going, I already did it for you, and you can start in exactly the same spot that I did. And you can use this for all of your future projects as well. I've made this for you guys because there's no need to have to build your own every time. Just use what I did. And dark mode is already here, and I'll show you how to use it. It's actually pretty simple, and that's going to be another video as well when we're done with this. The homepage, we're going to do dark mode, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to change your website for dark mode. It takes like 10 minutes maybe. So let's go back to our mobile. Now when we start, I always start on iPhone 5 SE. This is 320 pixel screen. This is the smallest screen that you should be coding for, because some people still have it, and it's important just to have that as your base, because you never know what the future will bring. How small, because these phones are getting bigger and bigger now. What if they go back to being smaller? What if they have a smaller option? You never know, but this 320 is a great spot to start with. And then I will do a 375 to test for that, because this is pretty much the standard mobile phone size now, which is 375 pixels wide. Your pluses are going to be 400 plus. So we'll do media queries for 375 pixels as needed. But for now, we're going to start in the 5 SE and bump it up to 75. So up here, we have all of the usual suspects for a header and navigation. And then we come down to our landing, and this is what that is. So I'm gonna show you something really quick before we start here. How I do my CSS. I've been doing this thing recently where I take all of my media queries for each section and I just put them together just like this. And it is so nice because when I get a whole website going, I can just click and collapse all of the different screen sizes and start working immediately. I don't have to scroll up a 3,000 line long CSS sheet to find the tablet version of the landing page, etc., etc. So you'll see if I copy and paste these, going all the way down, and you'll see, like, so I have this as a 0 pixel media query. People think that's kind of weird and unnecessary, but I put it in a 0 pixel min width media query. This is my mobile. I do it so that I can collapse it. I want it to collapse. So that's just a personal preference for me, so that I can do this and scroll up and down and pick the media query size that I want to work in. And it just makes this over here on the side, it makes this so clean. You can just click on the different sections of the website on glance from over here, because of these comment blocks. You can see them over here as well. It's just a really neat way to organize your CSS, and I highly recommend trying it out because it completely changed the game for me, and I'm never going back. So let's get the next section at least filled out. So this landing, and I use my little cheat sheet here of code that I just copy and paste for repetitive tasks. So this one is my media query group. I'm just going to get this ready for when we start. So I got these in ems and also in pixels. These are the same things. You're going to start your media query at 0 pixels, and then the next step is going to be tablet, which is 768, and then the next step is going to be horizontal tablet and small desktop and iPad Pros. So 1024, it's a very important size for tablets and for small desktops, because a lot of people just kind of jump to the bigger sizes like 1200, 1300, but some people forget that there's some screen sizes here that are lower, kind of in the middle of tablet and desktop, and that's this like little small range for small laptops like 13 inches or horizontal iPads. This is horizontal iPad right here. So we want to be fully responsive, and this is the base. And sometimes you're going to need media queries in between these, but this overall, this should pretty much cover everything, minus a few outliers. So I just wanted to start off with that. So we got our empty here, and I'm just going to copy and paste this a few times because we're going to have a bunch of sections here. And you can see it populating on the right side here, how easy it is to just move up and down your site. So let's just collapse these and let's get started. We're going to start with the HTML, and we don't have a mobile version. What we're going to do is we're going to translate tablet into mobile as we go. So right away, excuse me, what I need to do is I got this color. So in my core styles, on all of my websites, I have a style sheet called Core Styles, and that is the CSS sheet for all of my website, like my my navigation, my footer, my buttons, my fonts, everything. So it's a way for me to not have to repeat CSS. So we got this here, and I use CSS Variables. So that is, I swear, there it is, root. So using CSS Variables, you set your variable with a dash dash and a name, and then what you want that variable's value to hold. So right now I have this color as the primary color, which is this blue. So when I change this to the red and I save it, everything where that blue is will now be red. And there we go. And that's how you don't repeat yourself a lot. Instead of having to choose that color individually, if you have to change your color, or maybe you want to copy and paste this website and use it for another person, you just change it once and it's done. It's nice and easy. And you can do this for your font sizes, you know, for other colors, margins, etc. You can create variables for anything, and it is I highly recommend it. So we got that. Now we need to change our button styles. So here's my button style, my button solid, and hover. So right away, so my buttons are going to be, whoops, there we go, a min width of 196. So we got a width here. Let's do a min width 196 pixels. And this padding here, let's find out what this padding is. So I'm going to use this square, and right there, so that's 44. So we got 44 pixel padding on left and right here. So let's try doing that. Padding 0 on top and bottom, 44 pixel left and right. So this is the shorthand. First one is top and bottom, second one is left and right. So I'm going to do that. And that's 200. Save. Where are you getting this style? Looks like it's coming from style.css. There we go. We don't need this. And that's the 270. This is 195. Well, then let's remove the width. Maybe I don't need that. With auto. No, it's just going to happen when it's display block. It's going to take up the whole thing, so I'm happy with that. And then we got this border. So we got looks like it's 2 pixels wide, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the individual pixels. So this is 6. Looks like this is 6 pixels up. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this this border, that's going to be a pseudo element. So let me grab my pseudocode and I'll show you how this works. That's for my border. Now, button solid before, and we're going to add pseudocode. So pseudo elements are attached to their parent, or whoever it is that they're next to. So this is button solid, so this is button solid, right? And it's attached to it. So wherever this button moves, it will go with it, but not in Figma. And that's what pseudo elements are, before and after. So you get 2 of them to work with. And content, usually this is for if you have text that you want to do like a subscript for when you hover over something and a little text pops up. That's what this is. That's where you put it. And then you can style it with a font size and style and font family, all that, but we're not using that. So content is going to be blank, and I'm going to position it absolutely to its parent. That means my parent needs to have position relative on it, because if you do position absolute on anything, whatever its parent container is needs to have relative, so that it will position itself relative to within its container. So that means inside this box, right? If I do right 0, it's going to be relative to this box. So this is where 0 is, right? At the end of this blue line, this is 0, and that's where it will be. If you did not put position relative on it, it will jump to the next parent outside of it that does have position relative on it. And if nothing else has position relative on it, it will just be relative to the body. So then When you do position absolute right 0, it'll be to the right of the body, which is all the way over here. And that's not what you want. You want it to be to the right of inside this container, which is this line. That's why we put position relative on its parent. So now we got everything else. I like to put all of my pseudos, I like to put display block. It just helps with browser compatibility. Sometimes Safari and IE like to play a little game with me. So I just put display block and it helps. So top, what I want it to do is I want it to go top 6 pixels all the way around. So I want it to be 6 pixels on top. Let's make the border, it's going to be 2 pixels. And we're going to do var primary. And that's how you call a variable. You do var parentheses dash dash the name. So this should actually be 6, 6, 6, and 6. Let's see what this looks like. Button solid before 2 pixels. Oh, I think I gotta position it too. Let's see. So we click on this. Here's my before. Oh, I gotta go negative. So you see what's happening in here when I hovered over this? It shows me that it's inside of the button. I made the crucial mistake of not knowing what I was doing. Moving too fast in my head. So we put negative because we want it to go outside. And there's our box. So I think yeah, we gotta get rid of this border radius. We don't need that. I think I want to make this smaller. I want to make this button smaller. So let's see. Let's do. I think I gotta make this display inline block, because if I do display block and I do width auto, it's just gonna, be the full width of whatever container it's in, because that's just the way display block behaves, unless I set an explicit width on it. So I'm going to do inline block, and I'm going to do width auto. Let's see. Oh yeah, you see what's happening here? This pseudo element, I can't click on the button because you'll see that the before is what's showing up, and that's going to prevent your button from being clicked. See, I can't do anything. So what I want to do is on my before, pointer events none. That way, when I hover over it again, it doesn't come up. It's like the it's basically telling your cursor to ignore it and go on to the next element, which is this. So let's see, we got padding 44. Oh yeah, let's check its font. This could be 18. Okay, we got 18. I just want to change the width of you, but I think you're fine for there. Now let's see. I think we're good here. I just needed to get those guys out of the way. Now let's just change this over here. So in our H1, we got that, and then this is going to be our H2. So in a lot of my websites, it kind of has the same structure where you have your H1 and your H2 and your call to action. Your H1 is going to have like your big keywords, because that's one of the it's what is the most weight for Google is your H1. What the hell are you doing? Like what is it that you do? Don't just put, hey, welcome to our website. That tells nothing to Google. That has no inherent search value. There's no ranking for that. So your H1s should have your keywords and your keyword qualifiers. Qualifiers being like location or descriptions. So a qualifier for electrician is Whidbey Island. That's where this guy is. So that's the location. So we want to do Whidbey Island's expert electrician. So when people type in Whidbey Island electrician, this will hopefully get picked up, because we're telling Google on our H1, like, hey, look, we're Whidbey Island Electrician. When people are searching for this, it's pretty much a direct keyword match. And the rest of the website, depending on its performance and the rest of its content, will affect how it shows up in the search rankings. And as well as backlinking and having a good, healthy marketing strategy. But overall, as a developer, what you're in control of is this for SEO. And then the H2 is going to be the description. So, add everything else that you want to rank for. So like we have, service calls, electrical panel upgrades, new wiring, remodels. So this is it's basically an extension of your H1. And you want to put everything in there that you guys do that you want to get picked up for on search rankings. So that's the reasoning behind that and why that's there and why you see that so often in other websites. So this is good. We don't need our free quote. We're not doing a free quote, so we're getting rid of that button. This is supposed to be instant quote. Okay, and I think that's it for that. Other than, we got Russo 1 that we got to pick up from Google Fonts. So before we get started on anything else, I'm going to show you how to download a font from Google Fonts and load it locally, because Google's new search ranking algorithm, the Core Vitals update, it is all about optimizing for mobile and mobile speed and performance. And one of the things that you get nicked on Google page speeds and Lighthouse is using Google Fonts. Their own CDN is slowing down your website. So I like to load my fonts locally now, so that I can save that download. So we got Russo 1. Got this. We're going to download family, show in folder, and we're going to right click and extract all. And here it is. That's it. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it into my fonts folder. So we're going to go into Westside Electrical, and inside this folder I'm going to create fonts. There it is. And I'm going to move this into there. So that part's done. And now what we got to do, I have to open up another website so I can get the code to load it in. I think that was Park Place. I think that was the last one that I did it on. Or, no, it was Kent. Kent is what I did it on. But here's Park Place. Okay, so we're going to get the code here, which is this. This is how you load a font into your website. And you have to do it for every individual one. So we just have the Russo. So that's the one. So we don't have anything else. There's no variants like light or black or bold or semi-bold. So we're going to copy this whole thing. And then we're just going to put it in our core styles at the top. And right here, this font family, this is where you call it what you want it. So I'm just going to do Russo. And here is where the file path is. So we have /fonts. What is it called? Russo1 regular.tiff. So let's copy relative path. Let's do this slash. See, this slash is no good. That's the slash you want. And let's copy this and just put this down here. I don't know much about what this code means. I just know this is what you do, because I had to find this answer myself, and this is the solution I found. Just copy and paste this, and you're good. So now this should be loaded. When I save, this should be loaded. So if I put this font family, if I go into style, here's our landing, and here's our H1, just so I know that this is what it's called. If I put this on there, And there it is. So now we just loaded a font locally, and we didn't need to do the Google Fonts CDN. So now we get to save that load time, and you get to feel fancier doing it. So I'm going to close this up because I think we're done with our CSS for now, because the rest of it I just want to do the HTML first, because this is the HTML video. So we're just going to structure our website, and we're going to do so keeping in mind mobile, because we're going to start mobile first, and that's how you need to build all your websites, is mobile first. And so that's why we're starting with 0 pixels and not 1300, because it is a hell of a lot easier to make a website grow into the bigger screen sizes rather than to shrink and cram them. They just behave a lot nicer, and I swear your day will be a lot easier working. I would pull my hair out when I started desktop first, trying to figure out why these things are breaking their containers going into mobile, and I had like 12 different media queries. It was frustrating, but when you do mobile first, things are just cleaner, and it's more natural. It just grows into its size. You don't have to account for anything. It's easy. So that's what we're doing here. So right away, what I like to do is I break down all of my websites into sections. So this landing page is a section inside of a section tag. And what I like to do is every piece of my website is in a section tag. This section, it's called Semantic Html. It has inherent meaning. It basically separates all of the content inside of this section, and it tells Google, hey, this is related, this is a section of the website. And it helps Google understand content and the context around it. Rather than just reading what the words are, it can also see, okay, this is all one section, so this is all related, so this is, this is their inherent meaning together. And plus, it looks nicer, and it's a great way to segment your code so that you can also copy and paste it other places, and it's easier to read. It's just not div soups all the way down. And I like to have this little comment block up here to separate all of my, and to tell me where my sections are. It's just a lot easier to see. So this is just the way I code. So right now we got this section here. This will be its own section, the cards section. So that's what this is going to be, cards. And I'm going to change this to cards and center it, because that's the kind of person I am. And most of your containers, most of your sections are going to have a container so that these have something to bounce up against. And if we're going to make this card, we start with like just the main section. So that's going to be this little white thing. That is the box. So that inside cards, we got a card. This is our div that's going to hold this. So inside of it, we have an image, and we're going to do an H2 and a P tag. So we got an image. What is this image? What's it saved under? Star, sun, symbol, 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 symbol. Shoot, power. I think it's a power. Yeah, power. So it's /images power. And since this is just a graphic, it has no inherent meaning. It does not add any content or any context to the content. So we just do aria hidden equals true. And that hides it from screen readers, so it doesn't pick it up. And that way you don't have to do an alt tag. But this is a great way to take care of accessibility, and that way the screen reader isn't kind of highlighting over every little thing in the website. You tell it what to ignore so that the experience is a lot easier for these people, because we don't want their screen readers to just pick up on everything and then they're left wondering, wait, what the heck is this? So we ignore that. And I'm deciding, power.svg. On mobile, I don't think the card will show through. So I'm going to do loading equals lazy. This is the quick and dirty way to do lazy load. It's a new thing in the browser. So when this attribute, when you use this on your images and videos, it will lazy load it. You don't have to like do the JavaScript or anything. It just does it for you. It's not, I don't think it's supported by Safari, but eventually it will. So when you build your websites and throw them out there in the world, maybe a year or so down the road, when Safari gets its shit together, it'll implement lazy loading, and then your website is already doing it for it. But I think Google and Chrome and Firefox do it, so I just do it for that. And it's important that you don't lazy load images what's called above the fold. Above the fold, you see down here by instant quote, it's the line right here where the screen ends. So this is all above the fold, which is the bottom of the screen. You don't want to lazy load the images up here because that will cause a content shift. Like if this was not loading and then it loaded, it would pop. It would make this grow basically. So this this image is giving this box its shape because it's filling in 38 pixels of height. So if this wasn't loaded, it would lose 38 pixels of height, and it would then shrink because it's not being loaded. And then when it loads, it will pop and it'll shift to fill in this space. You don't want that. So above the fold images do not get lazy loaded. But since these images right here, it looks well. I mean, on desktop, if we go on desktop, they'll probably be there. On mobile, they're not going to be there. But on desktop, they're absolutely going to be there. So yeah, let's remove this. And then we get our H2. We're just going to do service. Let's see. So we get our P, and I'm just going to do lorem 15 tab. There you go. That's the Emmet plugin at work. Where's it at? And it's in here. There it is. Elm Edit. Elm Emmet. There it is. It's just a great way to shortcut your work. And that's part of it. Lorem 15. Hit tab, and it'll give you 15 words of lorem ipsum. So I just got a text here from the wife, so I got to figure out dinner. And so there's going to be an awkward cut here, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut really quick, and then I'm just going to get started. It'll be really fast, but kind of awkward. So I'll be right back. Okay, that was a 40-minute ordeal trying to figure out what to get for dinner tonight. So I'm back. So we're working on these cards. So we're working in sections, and in this card, that's all we got. We had an image, a service, and a text. So let's copy and paste this 3 times. So that's it for that section. This line, like this right here, we're going to create that using a pseudo element. So we're not going to deal with that right now. And this next section, oh, looks like we get a button. So let's get a button in there. So I want it to be outside of the container, because this container I'm going to make into a flex container, and that's just going to line everybody nice and neatly for me. So outside of the container, I want to put the call to action with electrical services. And then our next section, so I'm going to copy and paste this a few times actually. This is how I structure my website. Nice and clean and easy. So the next section is about, and we're going to have a container. So what I'm going to do, because this is obviously going to be positioned absolutely, so I can't really flexbox these guys and put them next to each other because I need this to jump up here and overlap. So this will be absolutely positioned. So I need to position this so that it's to the right. So I just want to explain how this is going to work. So we have, I think it's really important for you guys to know this right now. So we have our container, right? This is what this is what it's going to be. So I have my container that's going to contain all of this. This is going to be the section, and what I'm going to do is inside of this container, this text box, like all this right here, this is going to be in a group. So it's going to be, let's make this red. So it's going to be in its own little content div, and that's where all of this will live. So what's going to happen is this div inside of this container will have margin left of auto and margin right of 0, so that I determine, let's see, let's put on our columns and let's figure out how wide this needs to be. So it looks like we're on the end of this column, so this one to this one. So there to there. Oh, it looks like we're going out to here, so out to the mark, the white mark. What is this container going to be? That is 1070. So this container will be 1070 wide. This will be whatever it is, inline display inline block, and we're going to push it to the right of the container, and that is how it's going to fit. So let's put this thing back in here. So this container, this is actually what it's going to look like. Let's put you in the back. So this is inside of this container, right? And this section is being pushed to the right. And that's how we're going to do it. That's all. So in the code, that's going to be container. And we're going to have content, if I can spell it right. And it looks like it starts with, let's see, let's start with a span of 10 plus years of experience. And let's call this, what is this? I'll just call it sub. And then we're going to have our H2. So every section, I always start each section with an H2 where applicable. And then everything underneath that. So this is not an H3 because this is on top of an H2. You don't have an H3 on top of an H2. That's just bad hierarchy. It goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It goes in order. So you don't put an H3 or 4 above a 2. So that's why this is a span. This is an H2. And we don't have an H3, so we just have our H2. Let's copy this. And we got one paragraph. And then we got two paragraph. Whoops. And then we got a button. And I want it inside, so there's my button. And that's going to be give me a call. No. Learn more. So there'd be a learn more button, so if they want to go to the about page. And since learn more is not a very specific button text, especially for screen readers, so when we do have these, you try to avoid them wherever you can, but wherever you do kind of have to have them. I do an ARIA label attribute. So this all ARIA attributes are screen reader attributes. So this is a label. So we're labeling this button or link, and it's click to learn more about Westside Electrical. So instead of reading this, the screen reader will read this, which is much more descriptive, and that helps them understand where this button goes. So we got that. Now we also need this image. So I think I'm going to have that at the top. Yeah, I think I could put it in the container, right? Yeah, I want to position it in the container. Yeah, because I want, let's see. Yeah, because I'm going to want it to be positioned relative to the container. It'll be easier. Yeah. So inside here, outside of the content, we're going to have our image. Let's just call it lights. And that's going to be images. Where are you? It's going to be lights HD. Oh, HD. again, this is more of a, it's like, what do you call it? It's not like, it's a graphic. You know, it's not an infographic. It's not adding any context, but it is pretty big. And since it is big, I am going to give it an alt attribute. So hanging lights. I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to let people see, you know, hover over it and see what it is, because it is a, while it isn't adding context, it is a, it's basically a visual centerpiece, and it's taking up a lot of space. So I'd rather not ignore something so large. So let's, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have an alt, and then loading equals lazy. Not legacy, lazy. Okay, and oh, I forgot about the triangles. Okay, so this section's basically done, because I'm just going to position this, but the triangles, I think the triangles are going to fit inside of the card, because they're up here. I think the triangles are going to fit inside the card section and overlap the about section. So in here in cards, just at the bottom, or at the top, I'm going to do the image.triangles. I think it's under triangles, SVG, yeah. Again, loading equals lazy, and then aria hidden equals true. Because I don't even know what this is. This is just purely decorative, these triangles. Triangles. Okay, so that's there. We're going to position that absolutely as well. And then we're going over here. Let me remove this. Remove the column so it's easier to see. So there's frequently asked questions. I actually grabbed this section from Park Place Properties. So we're going to go to FAQ. This is the FAQ site. I literally just, because I have the Figma for this too, so I just copy and pasted it here. And this is all it is. So I already made this once, and I'm just going to copy and paste this code. So I know this is like a tutorial on how to build an entire website from scratch. And normally I would just build this out from scratch, but I'm also working right now. So this is also part of the job, is copying code. So what I'm going to do, and I'll show you how it works. So I got Park Place. So what I do, because of the, I'll show you why it's so neat the way I do my CSS. So when we go to FAQ, put you back over here. So here's the FAQ section. What we got here is, so we have our section with our container. The container, contains all of this. And what we do is every FAQ is an item. So let's open this back up. Oh, geez. I guess I'll just make this a little bigger. Okay, so this, as it stands, is in here, this FAQ item. And inside of it, I have my H3 with my little plus here that I have positioned out here. And inside of it, this is wrapped in a div called content. And what I do is I just have its height set to 0, overflow hidden, pointer events none, and then we have an event listener for each individual item on item 1, item 2, item 3, and in the JavaScript, Oh, this is the services. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. How did I do it in here? Services UL. These are the ULs with the navigation. Where did I put that code? FAQ.js. There we go. So I grabbed all of the FAQ items and I put them in a variable. And then I grabbed the H3s because I wanted to change them. And then I grabbed all of the extended ones. So everybody is set in a variable, every part of it. And I'm sure there's a more complicated but easier way to do this with with loops and stuff. But I'm not a JavaScript expert, so this is how I did it. It's not that bad. It's not as lightweight as it could be. But basically, on FAQ, when I click on it, it just it toggles the classes. So on the extended, that means on this, the extended class, when it's like FAQ extended content dot clicked, its height is set to auto, and that's what makes it grow. And then I set the H3, so its clicked class is orange, and that's all I'm really doing for all of the FAQ items. I just set that. I set it for once, copy and pasted it. So basically, what happens is when I click on this, the extended content is now visible. Its height is auto, and then the H3 has its color changed. That's what that is. That's it. So I ran into problems where if I tried to do it once or in a loop, I tried doing loops, I couldn't get it to work. But when I tried to do it just in one line of JavaScript, just to target the class, not very specifically, all of them opened up, or only one of them did. So I felt it was easier to just do it that way and have event listeners for clicks on each individual one. So whether or not you agree with that or not, if you think that's stupid, it probably is, but it works, and that's how I did it. And I mean, if you want to find a better way to do it, there's a ton of great ways to do it, but that's just in my JavaScript simpleton mind. That's how I put it together. So what I need to do is I need to grab my FAQ code. So I already made it. I'm not doing it again. I'm on a time crunch. I got to get these things done. So I copy the HTML, and under the about, I paste it. And I save it, and there it is. This is the FAQ code. So what's neat is when I go over here to the style, that's FAQ. Where's it at? FAQ.css. This is the entire CSS for the whole FAQ section. So what's neat is I just copy this section and I go over to my project and my CSS. So we got our landing. These are cards. Oops. This will be about. And then this goes right after about. This is the FAQ section. And I just collapse. And boom, now it's included. So when I save this, the FAQ section is there. It's working. It's fully responsive. But I need the JS. JavaScript. So I just need to take this, copy, and then I need to do new, paste, save, electrical. I need it to be in here, and this is going to be FAQ.js. Because I don't want to include it on my main JS file, because then it'll throw up errors when it's on the other pages and there's no FAQ section for those event listeners, so it'll just throw up errors, and we don't want errors, so I just separate it. FAQ.js. Oops. Here it is. See, now it works. There we go. There's that section. So that's out of the way. Now we're going to do this one. And and again, that's what's important about saving your code, writing it in a neat and nice, organized manner, because maybe you want to reuse it. Maybe you need to. Maybe you can. And yeah, that's another important part of web dev, is not having to do the same thing over and over again. So if you have code in another project you used that would work for another one, just copy and paste it and put it in. And when you do it like this CSS, it's so easy. There's you just drop it in there and it works, and it's fully responsive, and you don't have to. I just saved myself like another couple hours probably doing this. So now let's go on to the next section here. The services. Obviously, we're going to need a container. Okay, so my goal is to make as few divs as possible. One thing to notice is that some people would put this in a div, and you don't need to, because they're all block level, meaning they take up the entire length of their line. So there's nothing like this. This has stuff next to it. These have nothing next to it. These would be block level elements. They don't need a container to position themselves around, because they're just going to be centered anyway, taking up the whole width of whatever line they're on. So in here, I'm actually going to do my span dot sub, and that's going to be services, and that's going to be my H2, and then my P, I'm thinking, because this is the same as this is the same, this is the same. So I think there's a better way I want to do this, so I don't have to repeat myself. I can do it once and it's done. In the about, I think what I'm going to do, because I want to, when I do my CSS, I write it with the IDs before everything, so that they're all scoped, so that I can copy and paste it and put it anywhere in the website, and it will only work for its HTML section. So if I scope this CSS for just the about, but I want to reuse it everywhere else, then I can't, it won't override unless I use important on the next one. So I need to figure out a way to mark this up in classes so that I can use it once, and then everyone else here and here and here and here, they all use it. I don't want to do it 4 or 5 times. So this is the about. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just do a class, and this is going to be, I'm just going to call it standard. So when we put a class of standard on the about, and if we put it on here as well, so when we do standard, instead when I do the CSS for this, I'm not going to use the ID for these 3 guys. I'm just going to use the class of standard, and that way, when I use it here, these will have the same, sub H2P, sub H2P, sub H2P, sub H2P. That will be repeated, so I don't have to do those anymore. All right, so we got that, and now we need this. These have to be in their own little container within the container. So this is going to be the services container. And inside it, we're going to do card. So it's going to be their own card. And so we're starting off, we got an image slash asset, no, images slash power. That was what it was, power. And again, loading equals lazy, aria hidden equals true. We want to hide it and we want to lazy load it. And then we have, so this is a great example. This is an H2 up here. That means this heading is the next step. So this would be an H3. So this is H3. And then we're looking at commercial. So I want this to drop like that. I want commercial on one line, electrical services on another one. So I'm going to wrap commercial in a span. Oops. And then I'm going to target that span and set it to display block so that it forces this. Electrical services. And then this is going to be a list. So we're going to have a UL. It's just, that's the most pertinent way I can see building it. I mean, you can use a whole bunch of spans if you wanted to, but you know, reading this, it reads off like a list, and it'll be a lot easier to group, structure, and organize if it's in a list structure, and that'll be better for accessibility as well. So we're going to do li, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7. All right, and then we're just gonna copy these. What the heck happened? There we go. No. Copy, paste, copy, paste. You know, if you want to skip this, you can. Like, just, because I don't know if you're all excited about watching me copy and paste, but I mean, I'm not making any fancy edits. I'm just recording my entire day. Like, I'm working right now, so you're basically job shadowing me, and this is the job. So we're going to take that link, and at the bottom there, that's going to be our learn more. Click to learn more about commercial electrical services. Boom. Okay, so there's that card, and then over here, so the reason I put this one big and in the middle is because that's what he does the most. It's the most consistent work. It's what he gets the most work for. So I made this front and center because that's all the people that's what they're going to be looking for. Oh, sounds like there's a baby loose behind me. But yeah, this is what most people are going to come here for, so I wanted to highlight it. And that's why it's in the center, it's bigger, and it's separated by color. So let's take this card, paste it here, and paste the other one. So this one is going to be residential. And then, yeah, I'll target this with nth of child selectors. So then we got to do all of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 8, 9, and 10. Copy, paste. Again, the exciting part of this job. And the reason I did a section like this is because all of these items that I am copying pasting, these are also keywords for his services. And Google likes to see content. Content is king. You're going to hear it on all those SEO videos. Content, content, content. This is a great way to do it. List all of the services. Maybe in a list or in some kind of pleasing way. What am I missing? Emergency, new, remodel, kitchen. I'm missing kitchen. find creative ways to list your keywords, whether it be in content like paragraphs or sections or little list items or bullets or little sections like this. So let's see, learn more, learn more. Okay, now we go to industrial, electrical services. Okay, yeah, electrical services, so industrial. Or I'm just gonna leave that. That doesn't matter. Copy, paste, copy, paste. Oh wait, never mind. These don't matter. These are for. He doesn't do CNC plasma cutting. I just made up some BS stuff just to show him because I actually need to get more content from him for industrial. So yeah, actually we're just gonna leave these the way they are. So that's it for that. This section right here. That's it for that, and we're gonna move down to the next one, which is portfolio. Okay, and this one, no container because this is full width here, and looks like I'm gonna be doing a grid with this one. So again, let's copy this stuff, paste it here, and then on portfolio class equals standard, so that these guys can be picked up. And then this is going to be portfolio paste, copy, paste. Wonderful. So what we need here, this is going to be the grid, and inside the grid I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So when I do little grids like this, I like to create divs and set their backgrounds to be the image, and I just set their heights implicitly. So I'm going to do dot grid item as well as item 1. There we go. So I want to target them all into, with one catch-all class, so that I can add styles to all of them. Then I want to individually target them by having their own separate class. So I need to do that 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to do the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I think that's good. And then we also got this image here. So we got our triangles. They're coming back. We're going to put those at the bottom. Image.triangles. And again, already hidden equals true. Loading equals lazy. Got that. And then this line, like this slash, I'm actually going to do that with a pseudo element. And the same thing with the border. So I'll show you how we do that. It's just, I like to use pseudos to do things like this because it just cleans up my markup. I try to use as few divs and spans and images as possible. I like to use pseudos every chance I get because it just cleans up your markup. It makes it cleaner, it makes it easier. So let's see, we got 1 and 2. So we got this one. So let's copy and paste this one more time. This is going to be testimonials. Let's just do reviews because I hate spelling out testimonials. Such a long word to say the same thing. And we're going to make our container. Well, no. We don't need a container for these guys, so we're going to take these, copy. it's that same stuff. So we're going to do standard. And this is going to be testimonials. And again, to reiterate from earlier, always put your testimonials at the bottom because you want them to remember nice things that people have said about your client because they're going to remember the end of the website. So you always put the pictures, the gallery, competitor comparisons, testimonials. Those all go at the bottom because you want them to leave your website with that in the back of their mind, all the nice things people said about them. So I put these at the bottom here, and that's going to be a pretty easy one. Let's see, let's make this card. So I got, that's me. I actually, this is a real review. I mean, I actually used him, and he did a fantastic job, which is why I also agreed to do his website. I don't work with everybody. I'm very picky on who I work with. Let's see, let's do reviews box. And we're going to do, so we're going to break this down. So we got our card here. So we're going to do card. And then, so we get our so this doesn't need to be a heading. This will probably be a span with a span within a span. So span.name, it's going to be Ryan, me. And then inside of this, I want to have another span. Honestly, well, why do this individually? So these are all individual SVGs next to each other, grouped. So why have 5 SVGs when I can just have one with all of them? So I'm going to export this actually. And then SVG, export group, and there they are. I'm going to save, and I'm going to go to, not here, there. Westside Electrical images, and we're going to do stars. So inside of this span, I'm going to do an image. So let's see, image, stars. There it is. So it's going to be aria hidden equals true. And loading equals lazy. Starting to see a pattern here. So I'm going to position this next to this. And that's how I'm going to do that inside of this span. And then here we got our P. Copy. So we're going to take this, do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So let's collect, come here. So we got Mark. And paste that. And then I forgot, I got to go back to his Google page. I got to figure out who said this. Because this is just default. When I copy and pasted these and I just change the names. Actually, I gotta change that, but I'll do that later. I don't need to do that now. There. Jim done. Right here. All these people are very happy. So there's that. Now I gotta figure out what I want to do for the. I think I'll set it as a background image to the section. No, wait. It's a big image. I've been trying to do this thing now because the core vitals metrics are like this new thing for performance now. So it's like instead of setting background images, what I have been doing lately is just setting images as absolutely positioned, centered, and a width of 100%, and they just cover all of this. And that way I can add loading lazy on them and they can load incredibly fast. So I wonder how big this is. This is before compressing. So, oh, here it is, underwire. That's that. Okay, so it's 33. So let me see what happens when I'm just deciding, right? I just got to figure out, is it going to be easier? Would it be better to set it as a background image, or would it be better to inline it in HTML so I can lazy load it? Let me just see what it compresses to. 86 kilobits. That's not bad. And then when I shrink that, I think, let's just close these out. So I think I'm just going to add it as an image. I'm going to add it to the top here. And it's going to be a background. And what was this called? Underwire. And then, again, I already hit ensure you're loading lazy. Boom. So we're going to play with that. When we get to our CSS, we're going to play with this and see if I can get it to do what I want it to do. If not, I'll just fall back and delete this and just set it as a background image. But I do want to be more conscious about lazy loading images and backgrounds, etc., and optimizing my load times. Because I like all of my websites to load in like less than half a second. It's immediate. My Google page speed scores are in the upper 90s, like 95 to 99. And then my Lighthouse scores are like 99, 100, 100, 100, 100. So I try to get as close to perfect as I can for performance, because that's huge. Very huge for mobile right now. And I'm going to show you how to do all that optimization too at the end of this. And dinner's here, and it's delicious Mexican food. So I'm going to cut right here. I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to come back. Again, it'll just be another awkward quick cut for you. And before you know it, I'll have eaten and hours have passed. So I'll be right back. And here's awkward cut coming in. Okay, I'm back from dinner and family things. So I think we left off on these guys down here. So now we're here. Yeah, sorry for all the interruptions, guys. You know, I just family guy. I don't know how these YouTubers have all this time to themselves. I can barely get 10 minutes. So again, this is going to be another pretty standard, you know, flex box, left, right. So this is going to be qualities. So set up our container, and let's do our thing right here. We did add a class as standard so that it picks up the styling for these. But we also got a little bit of extra at the bottom. So we're going to do a span dot signature. It's going to be Ryan Thompson. And then another span dot title. It's going to be owner operator. So I don't like to use p tags for these little one-liners. Oops. Because p tags are for paragraphs, and these are not paragraphs, and they're not headings either. So guess what's left over? Spans. So this is going to be this section basically. I just gotta get this text here. Dang it! I hate when that happens every time. We don't need you anymore. Okay, that's good. And then we just need an image. So this is our container. That means this has to be inside of let's just say content. So this all has to be inside of its own little container, so that it can be grouped and placed next to the image. I'm going to put the image here, and what is this one? Light bulb. Oh, I think I gotta save this one. So I gotta save this as the size that it's in. JPEG. Export. Oh, not that. No, this. Export image. Oh, that's not. It's not gonna work. Why does it give me all the extras? See, I don't want this space. I think it's happening because of the box shadow. So let's turn off the box shadow. Let's see, where's that at? It's not on here. Effects. Drop shadow, turn that off. Why is there still a drop shadow? Is it on the mask? Mask. Okay, that should be better. I don't see any shadow now. Image. Export. That's better. But it's coming with the red border. And honestly, why not? It's one less CSS thing I have to do. So if it already comes with it, might as well. So let's go to Westside quality. Close you. And it's going to be images/quality. And our usual suspects. Loading equals lazy. And aria hidden equals true. It's just a decorative image. We don't need to say anything about it. So that's that section. And I'm just going to remove everything I have for the footer because we are starting with a completely different design. And this script right here that I have inside all of my websites, it's a script that pops up. If you're using Internet Explorer, a message will say, hey, you're using B, which is Internet Explorer. Browser, this is incompatible with this website and many others. Please open this in a different browser, either Chrome or Firefox. Thank you. So, I'm not coding for Internet Explorer on these. It's deprecated. It's unnecessary. And if you're still using it, you need to get your life together, and hopefully this message can help you get started. So let's see, we got footer. So when we look at a footer like this, you got to break it up into its basic building blocks. So when we're looking at something like this, how would you think to structure it? Because what I see is I see this list as a block level element. So, whoops. So this will be on top, taking its own row. And then we'll have a container, a content container. So there'll be a container around everybody. And then this UL will be just like a block level element. And then inside of this container will be another content container to hold these guys, because we need them to position themselves with each other, so we need to create a little box for them to live in. And the box will have 1, 2, and 3 items in it, or divs. And then I'll just pump these in here for the divs and then position them accordingly. And then this little footer thing, that's going to be another, I think this will be, I'll make this another div. So we'll have a div with this in it, and then with the with these guys, and then this will be a little group, and then we'll just do display flex, and we'll push everybody where they need to be. So this one's going to be I think we're going to make this image. I'm going to create a div with an image inside of it, and I'm going to center this image in this div. I'm going to make it a square. I'm going to set its background to white. and then I'm going to absolutely position it right here overlapping the white. It's going to create that effect. That's pretty easy. So let's get in there. So we need our container, and then we need our UL, LI. We need 4 of them. So we need about, services, portfolio, contact. Oh, sorry, these LIs need to be A's inside. They need to be links to other places. So we got that there. I think I'm going to place, I want to place this guy, this image group, in the outside of the container. So dot bolt for a lightning bolt. We're going to have our image slash images. What are you? Icon. And again, so aria hidden equals true. So I'm putting it on the box. So if the container has aria hidden true, that means anything inside the container will also be hidden. So we don't have to put it on here. But I would also like to lazy load this guy. Loading equals lazy. Excellent. So outside of this, now we need our footer content. And that's where we come up with H2 contact us. Copy that. It's going to be here, and then mail to, and paste. So that way when they click on it, it'll open up their mail thing to send a mail. And then this is a p tag with a little bit of lorem, so I just got to decide what I want to say. I'm just not going to decide now. So we got these. We're going to put these inside a item. There we go. So item. 1, 2, H2. Let's see. Location. And I think I can do. We don't need a list. Oh, fiber. What, bud? I got a 5-year-old knocking on my door. I gotta answer that because it's only gonna get louder. Another awkward cut again. Yeah, what? Not even 10 minutes. So I will be back. Awkward cut. Okay, now I'm back. I get Oak Harbor, Washington. It's like, do I need Washington? I don't think I need Washington. So let's skip to the item. H2 mission and a mission statement, which we will write at a later date. And then we got this. Whoops. So here's the content, and this is credit. So we're gonna have a it's not quite a paragraph. Is it a paragraph? No, it's kind of like a sentence. But you can't have an, I don't think you can have an A tag inside of a span. So I gotta have a P tag, and then copyright 2021. I'm just gonna add to present so that I don't have to come back and do it again. And then we're gonna do A. Oak Harbor Web Designs. And let's go ahead and put this in here. My site. There. And we want this thing to target equals blank so that when you click on it, it opens up in a new tab. And our web designs, all rights reserved. That's our P. Yeah, social media. So it's going to be social. And then A. So this is going to be the Facebook and the Google. Did I download those? Google, Flash, Carrot. Well, yeah, Google. I don't look like we have Facebook. Flash, what are you? Oh, okay. It's a lightning bolt. I'm not using that. Star sound, simple. Yeah, where the heck is my... I got Google. I don't got a... Alright, let's just... There you go. Export shape. Is that zip? No. Let's just do it the hard way. Alright, I'm just going to log into Flat Icon really quick. Off screen. It's taking a while. Log in, yeah, log in. That's my login. Alright. I just gotta wait for it to do its thing. It usually takes a little bit for them to get, but I use Flat Icon for all my icons. Man, what a library they got. So Facebook. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna edit it. Let's see. And I export all these. These create SVGs out of everything, which I think is amazing. Save as Facebook. And what's nice, like, check this out, tools. So like all of these icons I can customize, and I can download them as SVGs or PNGs, and yeah, they got millions of these things. I love this. They are not sponsoring me, by the way. I just use it every day, so that's that. So now we got our Facebook. Let's go back to here. Let's do Google. Google's first. Google. Aria hidden equals true. Loading equals lazy. Alright, take this, copy it in here. Facebook, all the same deals. Except, so we're hiding this image, but this link, this A tag, has no text in it to tell screen readers what it does. They have no idea what it is. So what you do is our handy dandy ARIA label. So we're going to do click to visit Google page, and then we're going to copy this and put it on this one. Click to visit Facebook page. So the screen reader skips trying to read the image, which has no value. It has no meaning to it. Instead, it reads the label, which is click to visit this page for accessibility. So inside this little credit section, I'm just gonna flex it. Display flex, justify content, space between, and that's going to create the maximum space between these two things. So this will go to the left, and this will go to the right. That's just how it works. So you'll see in the CSS, but this is the basic structure of the HTML. That went by pretty fast, but it helps when you have simple sites with simple layouts. These are all very standard layouts. Left, right, FAQ, center, center, left, right. So not too bad. Next, we're going to do the CSS video, where we go over how to even start your CSS for this, for mobile first. Yeah, because we're not doing desktop first. Nope, we're in the 21st century of web development, where you should really just be doing these mobile first, and it's so much easier. You will see how much easier this is once we start getting into the mobile CSS. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how this website turns out. With these flickering things, with these floating doodads over here, and the dark mode lights. Like, this is going to be pretty nice. I'm gonna be very happy with this site. I know the owner. I know he's excited. I think this is the kind of website he was always hoping he can have. But these things normally, these things like cost to have a website done like this. This should be at least $4,000 to $5,000 for design and development for this. But I don't do that, so because I just do my $150 a month. But that's not what this video is about. So we're going to focus on mobile first CSS coming up in the next video. And yeah, can't wait to start. It's going to be fun. So yeah, see you in the next video.